Hey guys, this is Miss Michelle. We're giving everybody just a couple more minutes to join and we'll get started in just a few minutes.
Good afternoon, senior class of 2022. Can I get a whoop, 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 whoop? You all are 9 weeks away from being seniors. Congratulations. You all have worked hard this year. Keep up the good work, and you all are getting very, very close. Myself, I'm Miss Green. I'm one of the counselors here at Terry High School. I will be your counselor. Well, not positively sure who I'll have next year. We're getting a fourth counselor added to the team. That's going to kind of break up the letters. So I may have you, I may not, but whoever you have will be working with you all throughout the summer, the rest of this spring, and next year, getting you ready for graduation. So we'll be talking to you all about the graduation requirements. You can keep going. The graduation requirements and some other things that'll be needed for next year. Class of 2022. Before you all entered high school, at the middle school, you should have worked with your middle school counselor to talk about graduation, your diploma options. There are some endorsements that go along with your traditional diplomas that you'll receive next year, and you should have chosen that prior to coming to high school. If you did not, we'll definitely get that done for you. It won't take very long, but there are a few different endorsements that will be on your diploma when you graduate, and you'll have to choose one if you have not done so. Each diploma option will prepare students to be successful after graduation, whether that be going to work, a career and technical program, or college, two-year college or university. Counselors will work with the students and the parents to help the students progress toward their goal. Now, the traditional diploma, you all will graduate with the traditional. The first option, you got the traditional diploma, your regular diploma. If you look to the side, I'm not going to read all of these. You have English, math, science, so on and so forth. It shows you the number of credits that you have to earn in the middle. You earn credits by passing the classes. So if you are failing classes this year and you have to repeat them for graduation, you may have to double up on some things for next year. But you still have a chance and an opportunity to do what you need to do for the remainder of this semester to try to make sure you are passing those classes so you don't have to repeat them. Oh, I'm sorry, slow down. For next year. Okay, so it says some requirements over to the side. Students should identify the endorsement prior to coming to ninth grade. For early release, and Ms. Pace is going to talk to you all a little bit more about this. I'll just read to you what's over here. You have to have a 17 or higher on the English section of the ACT, a 19 or higher on the math section of the ACT, or you could take the ACT work keys, or also have a 2.5 GPA, pass all the state tests, on track for diploma requirements, or take essentials for college math or essentials for college literacy. Yeah. Okay, the first endorsement that we'll talk about is going to be the academic endorsement. You see again all the classes to the side, the number of credits that you need in the middle. Over to the side, the requirements to receive the academic endorsement is going to be you have to have a 2.5 or higher GPA for the academic endorsement. Also, you have to have a 17 or higher on the English section of the ACT, or a 19 or higher on the math section of the ACT. And you have to have 26 credits to graduate, 26 or more credits to graduate. All seniors and juniors will have to be required to take a dual credit class or an AP class, and you'll have to have a grade of a C or better in that class to receive the academic endorsement. The next endorsement is the distinguished academic endorsement. You see the classes to the side, that's what you need for graduation, the number of credits in the middle. Now the requirements to receive the distinguished academic endorsement, you have to have a 3.0 or above GPA. You have to have an 18 on the ACT, the English section of the ACT, and a 22 in the math section of the ACT. A total of 28 credits or more. You also still have to take an AP class or a dual credit class, but you have to receive a grade of a B or higher in those classes. The last endorsement is your career and technical endorsement. Those are for the career and technical endorsement is for those of you all that are going to be taking the CTE courses. Some of you are taking these courses now. Digital media, health science, law and public safety, things of that nature. Then you have to finish up that particular those particular courses. It's a 2-year course. So those requirements are you have to have a 2.5 or above, earn a silver level on the ACT work keys. The work keys is a test that we will be administering when we come back after spring break. Receive 26 credits or more, and you must successfully complete one of the following: a CTE dual credit or earn articulated credit in the high school CTE course. That means you've taken the 2 years of the courses and you've passed them, earn your credits. Work-based learning experience or career pathway experience, and earn a state board of educational approved national credit. And you can also have more than one endorsement. So some of you all may have distinguished and career and technical, or you may have career and technical and academic.
Hey guys, while we're talking about the endorsements, I want to take a minute to tell you, when you're looking at those endorsements, the only two that will meet university entry requirements are the academic endorsement and the distinguished academic endorsement. The traditional diploma just meets community college entrance requirements. So I want to remind you guys of that as well.
You want to know what does it take to graduate with highest honors? What is that? Is that what they just went over?
Yeah.
Highest honors. They just didn't say highest honors.
22 math.
Okay, state assessments. Students are required to take and pass 4 subject area assessments: Algebra 1, English 2, Biology 1, and U.S. History. All of you all, most of you all have taken the Algebra 1, English 2, and the Biology test. You all are juniors, so you all will be taking the U.S. History test this spring. This year, it doesn't necessarily matter what you score on the test, but you're required to sit for the test. You have to pass the class and you have to sit for the test. That means you're going to have to come to school on your test today and you're going to have to participate in the testing, and the score doesn't necessarily matter. If you don't participate in the testing, you could pass the class and don't participate in the testing, you will not be able to move forward. You won't graduate. That's going to stop you right where you are. So you must participate in the testing. Students are required to take the ACT their junior year. You all will be taking the ACT when we get back after break. We have to reschedule it, and it will be March 23rd. So please make sure you are in attendance on March 23rd for the ACT. CTE students are required to take a CPAS test, and the ACT work keys will be offered to CTE completers.
Hey guys, before we move on from the state assessments, I know Ms. Green told you that it really matters for moving forward. If you miss that test and you do not show up to take that test, no matter what your grade is in that course, you will not receive the credit until you take this test. So it's very important. And if you have to take it next year, you will have to meet the minimum passing marks for that. So it's very important that you take the test this year when it's scheduled.
I got people who aren't going to pass this class. They're going to have to take it again next year, and guess what? They're going to pass the history test to graduate.
Okay, good afternoon, juniors. This is Ms. Pace, and I'm one of the 3 counselors. And I want to take a little bit to help you know what to put on your schedules for next year. At the end of today, toward the end, Ms. Michelle is going to go over with you how you can actually log into SAMS and enter your classes. So before we get to that point, I want to make sure you know what to put there. All right, so the first thing I want to let you know is next year's schedule is going to be a little different in that it's going to be on an A-B schedule. We're going to be on an A-B schedule instead of the block. So the difference is this year classes ended at Christmas, and then you took different classes, 4 different classes this spring. Next year, your whole credit classes will last all year long. So you'll have 4 classes on Monday, and then you'll have 4 different classes on Tuesday. And the whole credit classes will last all year. Your half credit classes will last a semester. So that's a little different. The disadvantage is if you fail a class, we won't be able to put it back on your schedule, okay? So it's very, very important going into next year that you realize how important it is to pass your major classes. So each one of you will have an English class on your schedule. Now you can look under language arts. It could be English 4, it could be AP Literature, it could be dual credit English Comp 1, or maybe dual credit English Comp 2 if you took English Comp 1 this year. Or it may be Essentials for Literacy, depending on what your ACT score is in English. Okay, so those are kind of all the options. The second class that you're going to put on your schedule is a math class. Even though you may have 4 credits of math, every senior is required to take a math class. So the math class that you take will depend on what class you're in this year. So if you're in algebra this year, you're actually going to have to take 2 math classes. If you're in geometry this year, you'll take algebra 2. If you're in algebra 2 this year, you'll take algebra 3, or depending on your math ACT score, it may be essentials. If you have a math score, ACT math score of 15 to 18, you're going to take essentials. If it's over 18, you could take algebra 3, or you could take dual credit college algebra. Or if you're already in algebra 3, you could take AP calculus or AP calculus. So there's lots of options, which is really good. Just know a lot of your options depends on your math ACT score. The next thing you'll put on your schedule is a science, okay? Everybody's going to take a science. So it depends. Do you have, what do you like? What have you had previously? Because you can't repeat a science. So those are your science options under the green science, okay? Notice a couple of changes. Instead of pairing zoology with botany, we're going to offer zoology 1 and zoology 2. Those 2 will be half credit classes, and they'll be paired together. You'll take zoology 1 the first semester, zoology 2 the second semester. Then we have botany paired with environmental science. We have marine science 1 paired with marine science 2. I'm so excited we have a physics teacher, yay. So we have somebody coming over that's certified to teach physics. This is very, very important if you believe that you're going to go into an engineer major in college. If you choose to major in engineering, you're going to have to take physics in college, and you certainly want to see physics in high school before you take it in college. And then, of course, we have the AP options. And so you will have wanted to take chemistry if you want AP chemistry. We really don't like you to start off with AP and not have had chemistry before. But we do have AP biology, AP physics. I'm not sure. I don't think you have had to take physics before. So if you feel very confident that you could do well, that would be an option, AP physics. And then AP environmental science, and then dual credit college biology. For all of our dual credit classes, there's an ACT requirement that will be on a screen later on. But basically, if you have a 17 in English or reading, you can take, in science, you can take any class, and then you have to have a 19 in math. So as long as you have a 17 and all the 3 subjects except math, you have a 19 in, you can take any dual credit class. I was going to tell you one thing about AP classes. Oh, know too that there is a limit. We have to have at least 15 people to make a class, an AP class. So keep that in mind as well. But we want you when you get ready to put your choices into SAMs, we want you to put what you want. So don't worry about what if this or what if that. You put what you want, and then we'll see if the numbers equal 15. So,
Hey, Space, before we move on, I want to add that under the math, notice that we're also adding AP statistics. And with all these new courses, it is really going to be important, the number of students that sign up. So we have to kind of have a balance. So in order, no class can be less than 15. So just kind of keep that in mind when you're signing up. We're very excited to branch out into some of these new courses, but keep that in mind.
okay, I did, of course, under history, you're finished with your history classes, but keep this in mind. If you fail something that is required this year, we will have to put it back on your schedule. Okay, so just encourage y'all to keep working hard, work up into the very end, and so that you have less classes that we have to put on your schedule next year. All right, so you're going to have an English, you're going to have a math, you're going to have a science. You have to take senior seminar. That's a little different for your class. That is now a required graduation class. You have to pass senior seminar. So English, math, science, and senior seminar. Everybody's going to have one of those on your schedule. You also all have to have an AP or a dual credit class. Even if you've had one in the past, you need one for your senior year. Okay, so keep that in mind. And also remember that English Comp 1 can take the place of English 4. And your dual credit college algebra can take the place and be your math. Okay, so those are interchangeable. And your dual credit biology can be your science. All right, so now we're going to fill in.
Why do you need another science? I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Ms. Thomas. I love that. Go ahead, ask me.
They were wondering, okay, so do they have to take a science? Why the other science?
Well, there's a lot of reasons. let me see if I can break it down. Because one of the things I wanted to touch on was the help scholarship. Okay, and so with the help scholarship, we need a lot of things would benefit them: an extra science, the extra math, your 2 languages. But we want to make sure they meet all the requirements for the help, but also the distinguished academic. You have to have 4 sciences. Okay. And also for the academic, you have to have, if you're going to college, IHL, the universities do not accept intro to biology. So you don't want to have intro to biology and 2 more sciences and miss the requirements for IHL. So if you think you don't need a science, and every once in a while somebody doubles up, you may have health science 1 and 2, which can count as a science. I would put a science on there, but if you feel very strongly that you don't need it, that you have all your sciences, meet with your counselor, because we're going to try to meet with everybody. We're going to meet with every student. So I would rather be able to take something off than have to add something. Did that answer your question, Ms. Thomas?
Yes, I did. Some of my students don't have a science left to take.
Well, there's actually lots of sciences now. Remember, we have added the marine science 1 and 2. Nobody's taking that. Nobody's taking physics. Now, I wouldn't take physics unless you that's something you're going to go into. I mean, consider what you take very seriously. Sorry. Okay, but we also have the AP classes too. AP Environmental Science, nobody's taking that. So at least Marine Science 1 and 2, that should be a good one. Okay?
I'm sorry, I keep interrupting, but
No, you're fine.
so a lot of my juniors this year, I guess they want to make every class count, and so they're trying to take as many dual credit classes that they can. Is there anything other than biology that they can take as a science for dual credit?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Sorry, Reagan. Okay, thank you, Ms. Faith.
Okay. So that's your major core classes. Now let me count them again. I have to count. English, math, science, and then your senior seminar. Okay, so that's 4. All right. So 8 is what you need, 8 credits. So after the counselors look at that, we want to make sure that you have all your required electives. So your required electives are 1 fine art, 1 computer, half a PE, and a half a health. So if you know that you're missing any of that, that has to be put on your schedule. Okay. If you've never had health, which is a half a credit, you're going to have to pair another half credit. Anytime you put something that's a half a credit, you have to pair it with another half credit. Okay. So when you're considering your electives, make sure that the first thing you do is you fill in any required electives for graduation that you don't have. And let me stop right here because I'm not going to list these. You guys can read. But what you want to do is think about too, like I mentioned, the help scholarship. The help grant. The help grant is a great way to get money for college, but it really helps if you have Spanish 1 and Spanish 2. Okay. And plus you need Spanish 1 and Spanish 2 if you're going straight to a university. So you want to make sure you've got that component on your classes. Okay. But then you can choose from a lot of electives to fill in the rest of your electives and your credits. Yeah, I did. Remember, you have to have the whole credit art, the computer. Computer is not on this screen, but it's going to be on the next screen. And that's PLTW, computer science. That's your required computer science class. So you want to make sure you have your art credit. You want to make sure you have your computer credit, your half of PE. If you've never had a PE, the way you get a PE at Terry is through dance or choir or band or sports. Okay. And then JRTC, if you've been in JRTC a number of years, that can be your health and your PE. So these are some more electives. Okay. Of course, if you play a sport, you're going to want to put, if you're in the sport, you want to put advanced fitness. If you're not on the team, but you think you want to try out, I would wait until the coach gives us the roster and we'll put it on your schedule. Under the AP options, the only one that really requires, or there's 2 that you may want to have prior knowledge, is the music theory. You really need to have some type of background as far as knowing about music before you take that. And Spanish. You wouldn't want to take AP Spanish and never have had Spanish. You want to take a couple of years, maybe even 3 years before you take that. But I don't think the third one is required, but at least 2. Remember, every senior has to take either an AP class or a dual credit class. Even if you've had those in previous years, you have to have one your senior year. Okay. And again, that helps you with the help grant because that's another elective. And then under career academic electives, those are just some more electives. And that's where your computer science is. You could even take AP computer science. Computer science is a fabulous field to think about going into because it doesn't matter what job you have in the future, computers are going to be part of that. So that's always a good option too, that AP class. Biomedical science is a great class, talking about forensic and investigating clues and things like that. If you want it to count as a science, you have to have 2 years. So just don't think that just because science is in the title that that's a science. In order to count as a science, you have to have completed 2 years. And then sports medicine is a great program. All right. All right. So now let's talk a little bit about early release. Now, here's my recommendation. If you do not meet the requirements that I'm about to go over right now, then I would fill your schedule with 8 credits. Okay. You can always meet these requirements before school starts and we can take classes off. But right now, if you don't meet what I'm about to go over, when you enter your classes, enter a full schedule. Okay. So the requirements to get out early next year. you either have to meet the first part or the second part. So the first part is what Miss Green went over, the ACT score of 17 in English and a 19 in math, okay? Or the SAT equivalent or the silver level on ACT work keys. Now, typically, we only give the ACT work keys to those completers in the CTE programs, okay? That's what we're going to do this year. Those that are completers are going to take the work keys test. So if you don't have a 17 in English on your ACT and a 19 in math, then you want to look at the requirements below, and that is a 2.5 GPA. You've met all the state test requirements, and basically, really, you have to have met all the state requirements for the one above too. You have to be on track to graduate. So if you don't have the 17 in English, you can be enrolled in the literacy course, the Essentials for Literacy. Or if you don't have the 19 in math, you can be enrolled in the Essentials for Math. However, if you are an athlete who is going to play or may play sports in college, know that the NCAA does not accept the Essentials for Math and the Essentials for Literacy as the math and English, okay? That's very, very important. And then you have to be enrolled in an AP or dual credit course, which all seniors will be enrolled in. So it's either the top or the bottom, okay?
All right, Miss Pace was talking about dual credit, and that was a great question about the science. We are limited to what we can offer based on what our district approves at this time. Anything, and I'll cover several slides that talk about dual credit. Anything that deviates from this requires special written permission. So I stress that because we want to make sure that we are following the guidelines, and we will work with you as best we can, but anything that deviates from these slides has to have that written permission. So who qualifies for dual credit? You have to have completed 14 core high school units. You have to have a 3.0 GPA, and then you have to get a recommendation from us. You also have to meet certain ACT scores, and I'll cover those ACT scores. Ms. Pace has already mentioned them, but there's a slide that'll go over them. You can also take the AccuPlacer with Hines Community College, and the AccuPlacer is just a college that they use. It's a test that they use that's very similar to the ACT that will give you a placement score, but you have to meet the minimum score requirements on that. So there are fees associated with community college for each course. Students are responsible for the electronic online learning resource fee. So that would be any instant access fee, and that includes ebooks. You will not be required to purchase a regular textbook if you do have an e-learning resource. The district does pay a portion of that. The district will pay, it's broken down per hour, but just know most college classes are 3 hours. The only exception there that deviates a little bit is the biology lab is 1 hour. So the district will pay $140 per class. I think it's $140 per class. You can take up to 2. You cannot take more than 2 without some arrangement and written permission. But know this, the district will not pay anything for more than 2. So they will pay $140 per class each semester. So that's up to 4 dual credit classes you can take. If you withdraw from the class, you will be responsible for reimbursing the fees to the school. If you withdraw or if you are failing the class, then you will not be eligible to sign up for dual credit that spring. So it's very important that you are paying attention to that. Also, attendance is very crucial on our dual credit classes. We use Hines, and it is an online program. So all of our dual credit is online. You have to kind of weigh whether you like the online learning platform. Now, this is the pacing guide our district wants us to follow, and most of you are in some sequence of this your junior year if you're in dual credit. English Comp 1 in the fall with either a psychology or sociology, a social science. In the spring, English Comp 2 paired with college biology. You might not have taken any this year. That's okay. You can still take these that are in the junior year. And as a matter of fact, we recommend if you didn't take any this year, English Comp would absolutely be the most transferable one. So that is a great one for you to take. In the fall of your senior year, they recommend college algebra paired with Western Civ. And in the spring, you can choose Western Civ. You can choose two of these, Western Civ, public speaking or speech, art appreciation, or music appreciation. So we have several options for the spring, and you can choose two of those. So if you didn't participate in this year, we have some flexibility to kind of mix it up. If you were still working on your ACT score, we can look at that. This is the ACT requirements for each class. And Ms. Pace already mentioned, pretty much if you have the 17 on the reading and the English, and then that math, you've got to have that 19 to get into college algebra. And also look for general biology, they're looking at a 16 on the math. So those scores get you into pretty much all the classes that our district currently allows. Again, if you are a little bit off this pacing, that's fine. We can work down. And if it's something that each one of us will go to bat, if there's something that you want us to take, ask for special permission. All we can do is ask. We can't make any guarantees or promises there. The steps to signing up for dual credit, you have to complete a paper application for Hines. I'm going to post that paper application in your class of 2022 Google Classroom as soon as I receive it from Hines. At this point, I have not received the paper application for the fall, but just as soon as we get it, I'm going to be sharing it with you guys. You also have to apply to Hines Community College for the fall of 2021 semester. You can go ahead and do that part, and it's hinescc.edu. So you can go ahead and complete that application for the fall. You are a high school student when you complete that application, and it asks you that. So that's very important. We've done this all day. You do have to have an ACT score. You are taking it here on March the 23rd. If you want to sign up for the April date, just know that the deadline is March the 12th, which is tomorrow. And those are the instructions on how you can sign up for the ACT. And note, for the dual credit classes, you do have to have a minimum of a 3.0 GPA. Okay.
One question that was asked, if a student took English Comp 1 and 2 this year, and they have already completed 4 Englishes, they do not have to take an English their senior year. Okay, but again, just kind of double check with your counselor when you meet with them. Also, the early release form, we do need a hard copy of an early release form. If you meet the requirements, and it's okay to go ahead and fill this out even if you don't meet them right now, because we need your signature, we need a parent's signature. We have to have a parent permission for you to get out early. So make sure when we post that on the website that you fill that out and you return it to us.
Okay, I'm going to go through the Career Center classes a little quick on some slides, but I want to talk to you for just a minute. If you are in a CTE program this year, that is business marketing, digital media, health science, law and public safety, industrial maintenance, agriculture, it is very important that you follow through with your commitment and sign up to complete the second year of the program. Most of these classes have a dual credit component, and they meet your requirement for having to be in a dual credit class. So that's something to keep in mind. When you signed up for it this year, we tell you guys every year, it is a 2-year commitment. We do want you to complete what you started with the program. You do have to have a 2.0 GPA. If at some point you have not met the requirement or you have failed one of those sections, then your CTE teacher and the counselor and the director will have a conversation with you about what it needs to take to move forward, okay? But as a senior, you cannot sign up for CTE as a first-year student. So this is only for the students who are already in CTE. So if you are in, let's see, if you are in the agriculture is going to be a travel class next year. So if you're in the agriculture class, I think we have 2 students in that. It is going to be travel class and it's going to take up 2 of your blocks. So understand that they are going to embed back in some more of the things that we haven't been able to do because of COVID, some more of the field trips and the hands-on activities that you guys enjoy about those classes, okay? So we encourage you to kind of finish the program. These are several slides about what you can do with the agriculture program. Business marketing. Ms. Walker has been phenomenal, and I know you guys have had challenges, and hopefully our new building will be great next year for you guys. But we want you to continue and finish through with that. The business marketing has 12 dual credit hours. So if you complete both years of the program, you will have 12 dual credit hours when you leave here. So that's huge. This is some more things about what you can do with the business marketing. Lots of different options there in business. Digital media. Digital media is here on our campus. Mr. Plump is the teacher. If you watch the video when I shared the presentation, the digital media students made that presentation, and some of our students are even featured on there. So if you didn't get a chance, go back and watch it. Digital media is 12 dual credit hours. So if you complete both years, it is worth 12 dual credit hours for you. You do have to, when you're taking these dual credit classes, for them to transfer and be recognized, you have to maintain a C average in those guys. That is so important when you're talking about your college transcript. But these are some different things that you can do with the digital media program. Health science. Health science is one of our most competitive fields, and it also has some of the least dual credit options. Some of that is with the health industry regulations. But if you started this program, we completely want you to finish the program. They're hoping to reinstate clinical rotations next year. They're hoping to add some more of the experiential pieces back into it that, again, we just weren't able to do because of the COVID situation this year. The student organization with you guys is HOSA, and we already have on our campus, Coach Kavanaugh is ready to get a HOSA chapter up and running and started. It's already in place, so that would be a great experience next year, and Ms. Dunaway will assist with that. So we have the resources here for you to participate in that. But these are some options with the health science industry. Industrial maintenance technology. I don't think we have any first year students in there this year. So I'm going to kind of skim over that one. But if I missed anybody, that is worth 12 dual credit hours if you complete both years. It is a travel class, so it takes 2 blocks. Law and public safety is on our campus, and law and public safety is 12 dual credit hours if you complete both years of the program. And they are adding some more of the experiential pieces in there. They want to do some mock trials, do how to pull somebody over, do some police things, look at some fire safety, lots of different options there. They are revamping the curriculum to kind of fit some more of those goals. So if you anything in law and public safety, if you're in that program, again, we want you to finish it. If you are already in the CTE program, you will have to complete the LOR for the community college paper application. You do have to apply again for the fall of 2021 next semester to Hines. You already have an ACT score because you're already in the program, but just kind of remember that. All right, now it's time to sign up for the classes. So the way you're going to sign up for your classes is through Active Student, and your Active Student is hines.edu/. activestudent.net. If you have locked your login or you don't remember it, that is fine. We will get them to you as quick as we can. We've gotten several requests all day. We will work on those and get them to you as quick as we can. You can email us, you can send a reminder, you can ask your teachers to email us. We'll get it to you just as quick as we can. When you log on to your active student, you're going to look on, you're going to see a thing that says click, you're going to see your menu, and you're going to select course requests. Once you click on course requests, you'll see any pre-assigned, any pre-assigned courses that the counselors might have put in there. If we have any pre-assigned courses in there for you guys, you can't change those. They can only be changed in an individual meeting with your counselor. So that's important to know. Once you click on course request, you are going to click add a new course request. It'll pop up in there and you'll click add a new course request. You should only see a pool of electives that are available for you guys. But I'll tell you, when I was doing the 12th grade, you have almost 100 different options that are available to seniors. So there's plenty of different things available. Excuse me. You're going to find the course you want. They are in alphabetical order, so that is super easy. And once you find the course and you select it, you're going to click submit. You just find the course and you click submit. You will complete that process until you have filled up your 8 courses. Again, that's really important. One of the things to mention to you guys, when you're doing dual credit, we told you you can take 2 dual credits each semester. So that, if you're doing that, you'll want to do all 4 of those. It'll look like more credits than your 8 normal. So you want to make sure if you choose one, you pair it with something else, pair it with the other one so that it balances out. So you may put more than 8 credits in there if you're doing something like dual credit, because that just adds a little extra because they are paired there. Once you get all of your courses in and you think you're finished, you're still going to speak with us to review your choices, to look at your graduation progress. Every one of us have tracking sheets on you guys. We have what you absolutely have to have for graduation. We have what you've told us in the past that you want, what pathway you're on. We will review all of that with you guys. Once you have everything in SAMS, you're going to come back to this presentation, and I'm going to post this link as well in your remind. You will complete this survey, and at the very last question on this survey says, I have entered all my classes in SAMS. Once you start clicking that, that's how we're going to know you are ready for an individual appointment with your counselor. We're going to know who to start pulling in. We're going to know all of that to kind of pull in. If you are not signed up for the class of 2022, here is the Google Class code, and here is the remind code for the class of 2022. Guys, I cannot stress how important these 2 codes are for you for the rest of this year and for all of next year. This is our primary means of getting information out to you guys quickly and in a routine manner. We post it here, we'll post it on the website, but this is where we have been posting scholarships when we hear about it, when we've been posting deadlines, ACT signups, when we have fee waivers, cap and gown information, we post any announcement that we need to get to you guys, we post it here. So it is very, very important that you make sure you are in this Google Classroom and you keep it, because it'll roll right with you for next year, and you are in this remind, because this is the way we get out information pretty quick. I will come back to it in case anybody still needs it. This is all of our emails. So if you have any questions, you can feel free to email us. We're going to look at the chat. If any students have any questions, we'll answer that. And guys, look, I'm going to, we realized during the last presentation that if you are following us on the YouTube channel, that you may be posting questions there as well. we will compile those questions and we will send it out to you guys in like a frequently asked questions flyer, because we want to, everybody might have the same questions. So that's all good. We want everybody to be receiving the same information. All right, let's see if we've gotten any more questions in the chat. Ms. Pace has answered some of them as we were going. All right, Ms. Thomas, one question. The 4 maths is a district requirement. The math of senior year is a district requirement. All seniors have to take a math. And I'll be honest, whether you plan on going to community college, whether you plan on going even in the military, if you plan on going to college, you need to keep taking a math. Ms. Pace mentioned how important physics is to engineering majors. I will tell you, my son is a mechanical engineering major at Mississippi State this year, and he would have given anything if he'd have taken physics in high school because it is killing him. So that is so important. Yes, Ms. Foster, we will share the presentation with you. If they qualify for early release, yes, they can get it both semesters. And I think we would, it is all year. And I think we would still do late arrival if it's an athlete. We'll still work with them on that. But keep in mind, we are moving away from a 4x4 schedule to an AB schedule. And so there's no early graduation on that schedule. You would not be able to have completed the senior seminar class, and that is required for graduation, starting with your class. Do we have any other additional questions? Because getting everything right for you guys, your senior year is so very important. Again, we are still planning on meeting with you individually. And guys, let's just say that may take us from now until the end of the year to get all of that done. Because when we come back for spring break, you have some important dates. You got the ACT, we'll have your US history test. We have the ACT work keys that everybody's mentioned. If you're in a career and technical class, that'll be available. So we have lots of things that'll be happening this last 9 weeks. But we want to make sure we get all of your stuff straight, so that you go into the summer relieved and you start your senior year great. If you don't have the ACT requirement for college algebra, you will take essentials for college math if your ACT score is between a 15 to 18, and you will take SREB math if your ACT score is less than a 15. Ms. Pace mentioned the NCAA requirements for athletes. We have had to do this in the past. It kind of puts a little bit of a bind on the athletes because that's not accepted. But you either have to qualify for early dismissal, you have to have those scores, or you have to be enrolled in that class. And if you feel very strongly that that's your goal to play at the next level, then we will make sure you are in an English 4 and the essentials for literacy class. So we want to make sure that we cover both bases there. But again, that the math, if you don't have the ACT requirement, is essentials for college math or SREB math. And guys, the essentials for college math, what it does, if your ACT score is between a 15 and an 18, if you were to walk out of our door right now, you cannot take college algebra on any college, university campus in our state. You don't meet the requirement. They're going to put you in remedial algebra. So that is one reason why we have been stressing this for several years. If you take the Essentials for College math class and you score a B or higher, they will recognize that when you go to college, and you will be able to go straight into algebra. So that is one reason it is stressed as being so important in making sure we look at those ACT classes. And guys, since we have a few minutes and I know the day is ending, I'm going to go ahead and plug. If you know your ACT score is not where it needs to be, we have ACT boot camps going on right now leading up to that. Join those boot camps and get that information about what you can do. You've got all next week. You could find a little bit of time to be hitting the areas where you really need to work. Do we have any other questions?
Guys, I had to step out for just a second, but for early release too, remember that you have to have a ride off of campus. So if you do meet the requirements for early dismissal, you have to leave. And with the AB schedule, what it's going to look like is you're just going to have early release every day all year long. Now, whether it will be for the last block or not the last class or both third and fourth period, I don't know. It'll just depend on what your schedule looks like. But as soon as you have early release, you have to leave campus. So you have to have a ride. Either you drive or you have a dependable person that you ride with all the time. But you also need plan B, because if you do not leave campus and you just hang around, they're going to make us put you in a class. So it's very important that when you're thinking about that and talking to your parents, that you have a consistent ride off campus, and we can't put you in class and then take you out and put you back in. So it's got to be consistent throughout the year.
Okay, guys, somebody asked a question about wanting to try to get as many art classes as possible. If you're in that situation where you're really trying to focus on something like that, we will work with you to try and schedule it creatively so that we can work on that. It would be an individual conversation with your counselor to see what we can do, because we can try to match some stuff up as best we can, because at your level, it really is. That's why your plan is called an individual success plan. By the time you get here, it's really individual as to what you need to help you get to the next level. So we want to make sure we're doing that for everybody. So with that being said, I know in junior seminar, when we get back from spring break, you guys are going to be looking at some College Board stuff and some opportunity stuff and looking at college entrance information. So kind of be making sure you kind of have an idea, or you're researching where you want to go and that you're meeting those entry requirements, because the three of us, we know general entry requirements. We don't necessarily know everything. You do not have to take calculus before statistics, so you do not have to do that. You can take AP statistics. Also, there is not an option for early graduation next year on this AB schedule. That is not going to be possible. You have to complete senior seminar. And with it going all year, it just isn't going to be possible. Hey, Miss Houchin, because this is streamed live on YouTube, I can't stick around on this live feed, but I can come see you. Any other questions? All right, guys, you got about 5 minutes before dismissal. Great questions. I know I'm so glad you guys were thinking about it and continue to do that. It is live to where you can get an active student right now and start entering things. So thank you guys. Coach Scott likes to end it.
Oh, I can't breathe with this mask on. Whew. This one right here is, I prefer to have the other one. I usually don't have it on like this. I'm in my office.